Hello. Today I'm going to show you some of my tree tricks. This is if you see that maple there, see it's a leaner, leaning towards the right there. Branch heavily on the right there also. Plus the wind's going that way also. Well, whatever. What I'm about to show you, I've been doing this since late 80s, early 90s. So we'll get set up here. Alright. First you get yourself a fishing rod. Take the hook off. Put a weight on, just a weight. If you're out of practice, that's okay. Let's see if I can't get this on the first shot. Well, I didn't like that one. I got the branch, but it was a little too far out. No big deal. Better practice. Just take the weight off. Reel it back up. Give her another shot. Alright. Third try. Alright. Like so. If you got to tie a knot, try to make just a nice small one or whatever. And I usually just push the swivel through the end of the rope. Now that shouldn't catch on anything. So now all I got to do is reel it in. Alright, as you start reeling it in, you got to make sure your rope doesn't have any kinks in it and it's untangled. No knots. You don't want anything catching on the branches. You want this little rope to go up and over, no problem. See, look at that. Take your time here, we'll reel that up a little ways and then take your time because you don't want to break the fishing line. The rope will get caught on ferns and stuff. But we got her. You got a big one. Alright, that part's done. Now you want your heavy gear, you want a nice long rope. You're going to hook that onto the cord. And on the end of the rope you want to You want a good treble hook. Made this one up myself. Welding's kind of shoddy, but you know, just made out of scraps that's laying around. Drill the hole through here. If you're going to hook a big tree with a fishing rod, you better have a big hook. Anyway, so we'll pull this up, and this will hook on any branches or anything up top there, and you'll have that top, and you'll own that tree. So yeah, let's gear that up. Everything goes to plan. This should be done in a minute or two. Got a knot with that. That rope's kind of stiff. Go for that hook. Stay to the end for some more tips and tricks on this tree wrangling stuff. Heave ho, and away we go. Oh, yeah. Caught on something there. Better check that. Maybe I ain't pulling hard now. There you go. Oh yeah. My big rope's all tangled up too, I see. Always something. Always something. Come here, you. How'd that happen? There we go. All right. Let's do it. Nothing fancy. I'm going fishing. Look up, look way up. Gotcha! See, I got the log tied on there now. I'm using a log for weight for two purposes. First, the way that I got it tied there, see? Keeps a constant strain on that line because you don't want that hook popping out now, do you? So now what I'll do is I'll take the rest of the rope, run up this here hill, tie it up to a tree up there, and start pulling that log up in the air. See, now that log's going to be up in the air. So when I'm cutting the tree, right, when the tree starts to move, if I didn't have the log, when the tree starts to move, then the rope will go slack, wouldn't it? But if I have the log tied on, it's always going to have that weight pulling on that tree for quite a bit more. So that tree will just keep pulling in the right direction. Alright, so let's run that up the hill there and tie that up. Alright, we'll finish the process of roping this tree off here. Make a little butterfly knot, and if you don't know how to do that, well, there's lots of people on YouTube who will show you how to do that. And then you get some good strain on this juggy. My rope was a little too long. I had to put in a double butterfly. Put in the old double butterfly and then stretch her out. Put the strain on her. I don't know if you can see that log. So the log's up there. Right? So now I get the strain on her just from the rope. So when I start to cut and she starts to fall, the rope won't go slack because of the log will still have the weight of that log. It'll keep pulling this way, right? Very good. So all that's left now is to cut. And that wind is blowing strong in the wrong direction. But don't matter. Let's come this way. Okay, so that worked out just about where I wanted. I didn't want it to go down in through all that shrubbery and stuff, because then I'd have to cut all kinds of shrubs and trees and whatnot. So it's in the open area where I wanted it. So, yeah, cut's not too bad. A little bit of firewood. So yeah, if you had a house over here, or a shed, or a fence, or whatever, you know, you could just pull it up. And it was leaning heavy that way, hard that way, so you could just get a fishing rod and a heavy-duty rope. And of course, you gotta have a chainsaw. And away you go. I've been doing this I've been using the fishing rod since the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere around there. I pulled a lot of trees down with fishing rod. Now, the fishing rod I was using was just my kid's fishing rod. See that log trick right there? See that? Kept pulling it because of the weight of the log. So when the cord goes slack, well, it doesn't go slack because you got some weight on the rope. Slicker than a big old rubber tire on a racing track. Anyways, thanks for watching. Oh, yeah, about the fishing rod, that was just my kid's fishing rod. My good one for trees is up at the camp. So, but you know the fellow I am. I make do with what I got. So if you want to try using a fishing rod for this, you should try to get a smaller pole than what I was using, a little smaller, and stiff, and you can get real accurate with your fishing rod. Plus, it helps you with your fishing technique, don't it? Yeah. So smaller, stiffer rod and thicker line. And that's about it, really. I thought there was something else, but oh yes, the hook. Oh yes. See, there's the hook, and when it come up, it hooked right like that, just right in the crotch of the tree. Perfect, right? Just beautiful. Now you get these at your local hardware store. Not. I just cobble this together out of old pieces of metal that's been laying around. Because I do have a welder and I weld. Not the perfect welder, but I can make do. So that didn't cost me nothing. You know, one stick on the stick welder, or 2 sticks. And well, if you don't weld, you can, I'm sure you got somebody in the family that might weld, or you must know a welder, or it wouldn't cost you much anyways. And the pieces, you can just gather up the pieces from old scrap yards or whatever, cobble together. You could actually make a hook. You can make a hook out of wood, to tell you the truth. I have done that in the past. Here, I'll show you. Here's a hook right here, see? Here's a hook. Cut this off here, and then cut this one off back here, and tie your rope in here. Tie it good, or put a hole there, or make that longer. Anyways, you know what I mean. You can make there's hooks and wood too that you could use. There might be a better one. Yeah, there's a better one there. See? There's your hook there. Just cut that right there. Cut this right here. Take this piece here, and then cut the back two off a little bit, and then tie your rope right there where it'll be nice and tight. And there's your hook. That's about it. Get yourself a nice hook. But you gotta have a nice good rope, good long rope. And like I said, I used to do this around houses for people and whatnot. And if I wasn't sure, like if this tree was any larger and it was next to a house, I would still rope it the way I did. But I'd also put a strap. I got a long tow strap and a set of come-alongs, and I'd probably I'd put that on too to really make sure I don't put it up against the house and be one of those guys that you see on YouTube putting trees through houses. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So that's about it. The old fishing rod trick. I see you could buy those slingshots and whatnot, and this and that, and those throw bags, and I don't know, I like the fishing rod. It's so easy. And if it does get hung up, like wrapped around a branch or something, because your cast was bad or whatever, you just give it a yank and snap it off. Paint your weights. Paint your weights orange or white, because they'll come back down to the ground if you snap the line, and then just tie it back on. Throw it up again. It all depends how bushy it is up in the tree and whatnot, eh? I've had a real bushy tree where it was hard to get into a good meaty branch. I got it after a bit, but you got to do what you got to do. Anyways, there's another trick in the book.